Switch chat room, take one.
If you had $1 million, what's the first thing you would do with it?
I would honestly probably go out to eat. I'd give it all away.
I would give it to those that are in need.
I would buy a street and name it after myself. I would buy a street and name it after myself, or probably buy a zoo because I like giraffes.
I would go out to eat, probably at Chick-fil-A, and if I'm feeling really nice that day, I might pay for the people that are behind me.
I would give it to those that are in need, like homeless shelters or just people that need food or clothes or anything.
This is gonna sound so basic, but I would donate it all to charities or things that I really care about.
What does it mean to you to be generous?
It's to stop looking at yourself and be curious and look at what other people are in need of, stop worrying about what you don't have and seeing what other people need. I think it's giving back in any way, shape, or form, even with your time, if you're serving or giving to the church in any way. I feel like that's a thing too. Any selfless act.
I would say thinking about others before you think about yourself.
Why do you think people most closely associate generosity with money?
I think everybody's really sometimes you don't want to give up your money. You're oh, but I just got this $20, I don't want to get rid of it. But it's easier to give than sacrificing your time or sacrificing putting your guard down and hey, you need extra love right now, you need extra support. I want to be able to do that for you.
Yeah, I think it's easier to give material things than giving something like yourself, your time, or being vulnerable with someone for a second. And yeah, for sure. I feel in society, it's definitely a thing that we put first a lot of the time, so it's hard to set that aside.
Do you think that there are other ways for people to be generous?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, for sure. Serving, listening, being there, being present, anything like that. And I feel it might discourage people a lot of the time because they feel they have to be generous with money, and if you don't have money, if you're too young to make money, anything like that, you could also give back by serving or just coming to church in general and being present and paying attention.
Why do you think being generous can be so hard sometimes?
Because we're too focused on ourselves that we don't look at other people. I feel we're too self-centered. Also, I feel comparing is kind of it can discourage you from even doing anything because you're oh, well, this person does this much, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not doing as much as them, and it might just discourage you from even trying at all.
I think even in the day and age that we live in, culture says so much about it. It's oh, well, you have to fend for yourself and you need to go do this for yourself, instead of reminding you we're here to support each other and we're here to love each other.
I mean, culture also shows us that if you do something for someone, they do something in return, but generosity, you don't have to do something in return. It's just helping someone, I feel people forget that you can be generous and someone can be generous to you and you don't have to give back,
When is a time that someone's generosity really impacted your life?
I feel just my pastors in general, being generous with their time enough to get up and pour into us students as much as they do, and my small group leader as well, just them being there and caring about what I'm saying and diving in deeper to what is going on in my life or anything like that.
I just recently started actually tithing myself weekly, and I feel I feel better almost.
Yeah.
I'm oh, I did something.
I feel better in general, just knowing that I'm changing someone's life by even a smile, but giving my time. It's definitely hard too, because as soon as I see that paycheck roll in, I'm thinking of what am I gonna buy? What am I gonna do? And sometimes it completely leaves my mind. But I've learned to I don't spend any money until I give back to the church.
What's something you learned from this conversation?
I think it was really nice to hear that other people struggle with similar things to me. I compare myself a lot in a lot of situations whenever I'm not able to be as generous as I might hope to be.
I bring myself down all the time. I'm there's so many someone will do something for me and then I'm not out there. I'm not giving my time like I should. So it's good to hear that people do that too. Like what you said.
That there's a lot of different ways of being generous. Instead of just giving money, you can spend time or you can do things that would make a person happy.
I feel in general, the conversation, just not basing it on money, was really good to hear because
I do associate being generous with money a lot, and just like taking the time to reflect and realize that the way I serve and the way I do things is also being generous too.
In what area of your life do you need to start practicing generosity?
I just need to be more generous with my time on inviting people to church.
I need to start thinking about others before I think about myself.
I need to be more generous on spending one-on-one time with each family member and talking about what I learned at church.
I need to start practicing generosity with my time.